down.
I will. Hi there, friends and neighbors. Hi, this is your old pal Jesse and Lisa from Lazy Days Ahead, starting the Survival Seeds 2024 live tonight. The girls will be here shortly. I think, see, they're right now busy signing autographs. They did a promotion somewhere, and they're signing autographs, signing their name on the books, albums. They're being inundated right now by millions of fans. So because they're being inundated by millions of fans, we've decided to take over tonight. But how's everybody doing? Let me say hello, everybody, to chat before I go over the stats. And we do have a special guest. I hope y'all didn't see her. Because she was up here and I had to bring her down. Because I'm not normally running this show.
Well, they should know if they were watching.
No, y'all know who it is. Y'all know who it is because it was on the thumbnail. So if you watch the thumbnail, you know it's Ginger. Can everybody hear and see us okay? I'm assuming you can. So we got Butler Family Farm in the house. Always one of the early ones. That's right. Troy Sutton, how you doing? Milk and Honey. No, this is not the Lazy Days Ahead live, but it's the Survival Seeds 2024. And I just want to get this thing started. Let me go ahead and bring up Charles. Hey, Charles, welcome in. Welcome in, because he's one of the co-hosts.
Hello.
Well, you were down in the dungeon. I didn't know if you was asleep or awake. What, you got the cots right there beside you, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was your week? You've been doing a lot of work?
Oh yeah. Getting it done.
Staying busy, right? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And you've been watching all those videos of the people putting in their survival seed videos.
Trying to.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I know.
Yeah.
And we're up to 331 survival seed videos, total videos. That's including ours, like our lives and stuff, because that's considered a video, right?
Yeah.
So that's just amazing. We got Milk and Honey Heritage Farm all the way from Portland, Portland area, in the Portland area from Washington. Yeah, Oregon. I'll say Portland, Washington, Portland, Oregon. So welcome.
Karma.
Yeah, welcome in. Karma from Idaho. I got Christine, Mrs. Gillum Farms. She's all the way from Oklahoma or Oklahoma. KK, she's in the house. VCH. One moment, I'm having some tech issues. Right? Seems like they're always having they're out there. She calls it. They're out there signing autographs, folks. I'm telling you. If you saw the little clip of their upcoming, they're gonna drop an album in June. Well, we're in June, so this month they're gonna be dropping an album. So they're out there signing autographs. They just don't want to tell us
Thursday.
On Thursday. They just don't want to tell us.
It's hard to get away from that all that press.
Right, right. Yeah, well, I guess we're like paparazzi. That's why they don't want to come around us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm paparazzi, I guess. Paparazzi. Or you're pops too. You're just as old as I am, Charles.
Oh, the 7th.
Yeah.
Comes out on Friday.
Comes out on Friday. Oh, Thursday, Friday the 7th. Okay, so they got a big. I mean, really big. Y'all folks, you guys don't understand how big this is. This is the Vineyard Chicks. I mean, their first ever mastered CD or album. Let's call it an album. Mastered album.
One song. Yeah.
That they brought out. Well, yeah. One song they've got mastered. It's going to be a hit, I think. Jennifer Ocean Homestead, all the way from
Canada,
Cianada,
New Brunswick,
right? And then you got Mama Jam. She's in the house somewhere in their house, saying hello, everyone. And let's see who we got.
Jennifer said they're probably secretly eating homemade flan and don't want us to see.
Y'all better not be eating homemade flan secretly behind my back. Oh, I will be so upset.
They'll eat it.
She says, KK says, my mouth isn't working. LOL. I need a few more moments. Okay, we got all night. KK, we got all night. But just saying hello to all the folks for you while you're getting ready. Who we got? It all adds up. How y'all doing? Welcome in. And let's see who else. We got Rudy Irieta with autism. Let me say it. Did I say it right? Rudy Irieta with autism. I hope I said that correct. And then you got Bubble Bibble. A Bubble Bibble. It sounds like a song, right? Bubble Bibble. Bubble Bibble. Yep.
Barb's Country Home.
I'm not lying. Look, it's right there. Bubble Bibble.
I know. It's just
Bubble
funny.
Bibble. And then you got Beth Cornett from BNS Odyssey, Barb's Country Home. How you doing, Barb? That's our neighbor right down the street. Mm-hmm. Lone Cross. Yep. No, I said it all adds up.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Hello, all adds up. And we got see Jennifer. We saw Tiffany from Canadian Family Life is here. We got a lot of Canadians in the house. Lots of Canadians. And then we got what does Butler say? Jesse can't see me with my new haircut. But you got a haircut? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I have to see it to believe it. Let's just say that. Let me start off with some stats, folks. You'll be surprised. Well, I know you won't be. You won't be surprised, but I think you'll enjoy it.
Mike's Chaotic Gardening.
Hey, Mike, welcome in. Let me show you what we got here.
Be Charming.
So, since last week, we have 12 videos that have come out. Okay, one of them is an entry video from somebody everybody knows, Danny Days Ahead. She's like 2 months behind, but she finally put her video out, her entry video. So I'm happy about that. She did a good job. And we got 11 video of the month or video updates so far. And it's only been the first week, folks. And then 3 NA videos.
It's only 2 days.
Well, but this counts from the last live.
From last Sunday.
From the last live, last Sunday. So there's a few that were at the end of the month from last month. We count them as June videos. And so we got 3 NA videos, which is all the host videos. And then we got a total of 15, but we have a grand total of 331 videos for the collaboration. Who does that? The Vineyard
That's
Chicks.
a lot of videos.
331, and we're only in June, and we're going to October. Let's do the math, folks. That's going to be close to 1,000 videos by the time October gets here, folks. 1,000 videos for one collaboration. I don't think there's going to be a collaboration that can top that. I'm sorry. Of course, we're doing the whole year, but but people are growing constantly. If you've been watching the videos, you can see everybody doing their updates. I mean, people are growing left and right. Some are all the way to the. I mean, Miss Ann showed a video where the sunflower seeds were like 6 foot above her head. Of course, she's only 3'5", I think. She's very short, but no, still, but gardens are anywhere from here to over 6 foot. So it's amazing to see the difference in like say the beans, or in fact, Lisa pulled a couple. Didn't you pull a couple of beans yesterday?
2.
She pulled 2 beans off a plant.
2 red kidney beans.
2.
Yeah.
No, like we're talking 2 beans.
2 different pods, but each one only had 1 bean in it.
At this rate,
But
I may get a pot of beans by the time I'm 80. No, but
hey, it's still fun to open it and see. It's red.
Right.
It's really a red kidney bean.
Right. And I was just happy to see. I mean, so stuff's growing, and people are putting out a lot of videos. And we got somebody just popped up, but it says your device is not connected there, KK or Trey. I'm not sure which one's doing it. Either one. And then, but anyway, so if you've been watching the videos, there's a lot of good, interesting videos in there. And I like the fact that there's some, like there's one. It's by Love the Land. They're not just planting stuff just to plant it. They're teaching children, their family, how to grow, how to plant, what's the meaning of this and what's the meaning of that as it comes to growing. Y'all ready? Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. You're not ready. Okay. Thumbs down. Okay. But they're showing, here's what you do, why you do it. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. So they're showing their family, the younger generations, how to do it. And that's awesome that they're not just doing it just to do it. They're actually doing it for a purpose, to harvest and to teach the next generation of why it's important to plant, why it's important to sow seeds, why it's important to save seeds. And it's the videos like theirs that are going to mean a lot to the folks down the road. So, but anyway, so Charles, what's happening in the herb world?
Well, I do have a picture if you want.
Yeah, if you want to show it, go ahead. It's our show, Charles. We don't have to follow the rules no more. We can do whatever we want. Before we had to just sit back and watch.
Right there. He's
Okay.
This
You got it?
this is from Garden State So and So.
Okay. Garden State so and so. And this is, what are we looking at? What kind of plant?
Feverfew.
Feverfew. Okay. So it looks like a daisy. Or even
pretty
a
much.
sunflower.
Yeah. And it's huge.
Wow.
to be popping out that early. I was like, wow.
And so now how do you harvest it, or when do you harvest it?
Well,
Whenever?
I mean, is there a mature
Time
like
when
after
to do
45 days, after 90 days?
well, no, it's just it depends, because you can use the flower and you can also use the leaves on this. So the leaves you just dry out. And I don't like, using a dehydrator for herbs, because I would rather hang the herb up and let it dry out itself, because it just
a natural drying process.
Yeah, whenever you use the dehydrator, depends what you're using it for. A lot of times, if you're using it for teas, you get a taste, and you get that taste. And sometimes you just cook the whatever it is,
the nutrients you're talking about.
You overcook it, and it's pretty much useless. It's just a green herb.
So by dehydrating, let's say you put it in a dehydrator, by dehydrating it, are you increasing the chance of losing its nutrients because you're basically drying it out faster than what it would normally? Okay. And
it all depends on the person, because some people just don't have a place to where. To me, if somebody comes to my house, they probably think I'm a witch or something, because I have herbs hanging up all over the place.
You got stacks of garlic hanging everywhere. Is that what it is?
I've actually got onions hanging right now in the house.
Deanna's garden, Dee's Garden Adventures. How do you keep the dust off them when you're drying them?
They don't, believe it or not, it doesn't take that long. And once they dry out, you strip them down and put them in jars or Mylar bags, if that's the way you want to do it. But unless you're like in a real humid area, even then, you can hang it in the barn. I mean, down south, they hung up tobacco for how many years?
Yeah,
years and years.
Even Jennifer Ocean says heat kills the good stuff, and you don't have the health benefits. No dehydrator, and use room temp water for a tea.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And just like honey. That's why you don't buy honey at the store, is because they cook it, and it gets rid of all the benefits of honey. It's just, why have the honey if you cook it ahead of time?
Right. I did see a video today about honey. It said that if you put like a tablespoon in a bowl of honey, and then you pour a little water in there with it, and then stir it, or not stir it, but shake it in one direction. If it makes little lines in the honey, then it's artificial. It's been processed. If you stir it and it makes like little honeycombs, then you know it's real honey.
That's cool.
Yep.
Interesting.
Thumbs up. Okay, look here. We got here's Johnny.
Sorry about that. This isn't even the same computer I was trying to boot up. It's not working.
Oh.
No, it's okay. We understand. We were having a blast. In fact, you guys don't even know what you guys gave away already.
No, thank you for doing that.
He didn't.
No, I know that. Away. I was listening. But thank you for opening the live. And how's your week going?
Oh, it's been busy for us, but hey, and we had a 4-hour live last night, so we're lived out. So, but we're not giveaway out. If you want to give away something, we can give it away.
Into the summer.
So, yeah, we've been saying hello to everybody. Charles was talking about feverfew and drying herbs as naturally as opposed to drying them in a dehydrator or some sort of altered method like through an oven or something. But I didn't even know that drying herbs naturally was better for the herbs than it would be if you use a dehydrator.
Oh, that's super cool. Oh wait, I don't have any names.
So, and you do have a special guest down below. So I don't know if you're able or whenever you're ready, but she's down there waiting.
Yeah, so I do have a bit of explaining to do. We were out most of today filming a music video out in Allegan. We made a little Facebook post about it and we had a lot of fun, but we only just got in the door, so we did not get a chance to look at any of the videos that were posted this week. So we apologize for that. We will try to look through them this week and then do this week and last week's next week. Wait.
Yeah,
Next week,
that's
last
correct.
week,
So
this
you
week.
weren't out there doing autographs for everybody?
Signing
No.
up.
Signing autographs?
We
That's
made
what we
lunch.
thought.
We made them lunch.
Oh,
It was
Okay.
fun
We'll
though.
forgive you this week.
Oh,
But I don't know if you heard, we're up to 331 total videos of
wow.
the collaboration, and we had 12 since last Sunday. One entry video, which was Danny Days Ahead.
Nice.
And then 11 update videos, and then three of our videos. So
Wow.
Nice.
you know,
That's
total
awesome.
of 15
That's
for so far for June, and it's climbing on up there. We figured if we do the math, it's going to be around 1,000 videos by the time they get to the end.
Wow. That's insane.
now and he said this includes the Sunday lives also.
Right. Any
Yeah.
video that's Survival Seed 2024 related.
Nice.
In fact, there's a video on our Survival Seed 2024 playlist where somebody went in there and he copied everything that said the word survival and he put it in, and ours was included, or Survival Seed 2024 was included, and they had nothing to do with the Survival Seed collaboration. But they used it anyway.
Wow.
But anyway, so
This week's guest is going to be Not For Nothing Homestead, and I did look at her channel a little bit. She is a super cool channel. She raises pigs. I think she's off grid. And then she's got a very cool kitchen. But she's a super cool channel, and we're looking forward to talking to her about homesteading extras and like what she would grow in addition to the survival seeds and what she would think about that. I think that's
if you could bring her up, we don't have control over it right now.
Okay, I'll bring her up. Here's Ginger.
Hello.
Hey, Ginger.
Hey, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So you've been doing a music video, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, we're amongst musical stars here. I'm
Celebrity.
in awe.
I like your hat.
Thank
Love your
you.
hat. Super cool.
Thank you. That's a Megan's Fearless Adventures special. She passed it down to Mom. Usually goes the other way, but
Well, thank you for
It's
coming
Be Kind
out.
to Seniors Week.
Um,
I said it's Be Kind to Seniors Week. That's why.
oh, shush up, Jesse. No, thank you for having me. Thank you for
Thank you
asking
for
me. I
being here.
appreciate it.
So you've got a super cool channel, and this week's going to run a little bit different in the sense that I don't have a list of questions. But do you want to start by telling the chat about a little bit about what you do?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we can just let it flow organically. I mean, I'm so cool with that. Stop, Jesse. Well, there's my mod brother up there right above me. He's trying to teach me how to be the mod sister. Anyways, so you were correct. We have pigs. We're off grid. We have pigs. We have chickens. We have a couple of dogs. I have my daughter is here with us for right now. And one of our twins, we have twin boys. One of our twins lives here as well. We have gardens. We have, I'm trying to think of what else we do. A lot of DIY projects, a lot of cooking, canning, trying new recipes. I tried a new recipe today and I'm so excited. That video is going to come out Tuesday.
Hey, we keep an eye out for it.
So, yeah. So, I mean, we just kind of, I don't want to say, it's like usually, and you're probably very familiar with this. You wake up in the morning, you have an idea or a list of things you want to do today. And within 1 hour, that whole list can change.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Depending on if the chickens got out, if the pigs got out, if something happened, you know, it is, you have to be very fluid when you have a homestead.
And as far as the survival seeds, do you already have them planted and stuff?
Yes, I have the tomatoes. I have those and they're about this tall. So those the red beans, I never did get to come up, but I planted another bean and I actually have saved seeds from the last 4 years.
Oh, wow.
I've saved them again and again and again. And they're called long beans, noodle beans, asparagus beans. People call them different things.
Oh, yeah.
And I put them in our cold frame. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a cold frame is, but I put them in our cold frame and they germinated really good. And then we put the fencing around it because last year I had a problem with rabbits, wild rabbits, and they took it out a couple of times after I replanted. And by the end of the year, I only got like half a batch of green beans and that was it. So this year I vowed that that's not going to happen with any of my beans. I'm going to protect them from the rabbits. So those are really, I mean, they've taken off. They've done really, really well. So, and I did those from the seeds I saved. So that kind of goes, I had to kind of drop back and punt when the kidney beans they just never came up. It probably was, I'm going to be honest, I probably planted them too early because I direct sowed them outside. And then we had a couple more low
Cold
temps
spells.
at night. Yeah, it got cold and it probably killed the seed before it ever even got a chance. Or if it started to germinate, it just knocked it out. And yes, rooted in Texas, Nina and Boyce reminded me, it's probably Nina. We also have a Bible study on women's Bible study. Well, it's open to everybody. Guys can come too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what is this? Am I being excluded now?
No, you are not. You are completely included. Thank you. That's on Monday nights with myself, Christine, Mrs. Gillum Farms, who's also in the chat over there, Nana 9 Acres, and Tara at White Rock. So the four of us all get together and we kind of just act like we're sitting around a kitchen table, with your Bibles, having a women's Bible study. So it's pretty cool. I've really learned a lot from it. I love it when you can do something like that and people can kind of give you an epiphany, something you didn't see. They can, jar a thought, I just love that, the discussion part of it. So that's one of my favorite times of the week.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is great.
And next question I had was, out of these survival seeds, how many of them have you grown previously?
I've grown peppers, but not that type of pepper. Those particular tomatoes I have not grown. Kidney beans I have not tried. I have tried beets. So I would say probably about more than 50% of them I have not grown. So I was familiar with some, but not with others. So it's quite fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. I really am. You guys got a great thing going here.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And as far as like, the topic that we really wanted to talk about with you was kind of branching off a previous topic, which was nutrition. And we've had a few people come up and try to address that. As far as the survival seeds go, we're mostly lacking on fat and protein. And we wanted to know like how you would substitute other things for that, especially because you live off grid.
Yeah.
How do you address those?
Well, the fat, for sure. We had one of our pigs went to camp. So I had them, when they were processed, save all the lard. So, or all of the fat, excuse me, that is rendered down as lard. So the bacon grease from the bacon, well, and that's the protein part too. The bacon grease from the bacon, I save that as I go, which there's a lot of people that do that as well. But I actually shredded some hash browns. That's part of my meal prep that I was doing last night. I did some meal prepping. Megan and I have a Thursday show as well called Craft and Chat at 10 a.m. You girls are probably in school when that's going on, or probably but this past week we went over a lot of nutritional things, things that are good for you, preparing your snacks and your meals ahead of time. Especially, it's twofold. Number one, it keeps you from just opening the cabinet and grabbing the first thing that is ready to eat and shove in your mouth when you're hungry. And then also, it helps out when it's so hot in the evening and nobody wants to get in the kitchen and cook, or nobody, you don't want to cook because you've been working outside all day. So either you're tired and sweaty or you're just sweaty. One or the other. But nobody wants to cook when you're in that situation.
Yeah.
So meal prepping is it makes it so much easier to keep your all of your diet very good for you. So you're not eating junk constantly.
Right.
And, so I was meal prepping last night, and Megan actually came in from work because she has a job now. And I say that like she didn't before. I don't know why I said it like that. Sorry. So she came in from work, and I had taken 3 potatoes. I bought a bag of potatoes on a really great sale. I had shredded them, peeled them, shredded them, and then washed them, soaked them in water, then rinsed them out. And I was making hash browns. And so she came in and she said, well, what is this for? And I said, well, it's for breakfast burritos. I'm going to make those ahead of time so that way we can just pop them in the microwave. And so she tasted them. She was like, dang, these are good. I said, yeah, they were fried in bacon grease. That's why.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome. Sounds good.
It does.
yeah.
That's
We
a
love
spice all by
breakfast.
itself.
Huh?
So that's a spice all by itself.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Just shake it
Right.
on a little bit of everything.
Right. So Jennifer Ocean says, cook it all in butter. LOL, good fats. Well, good fats is relative because I'm all about bacon.
Yes.
And that's good fat to me, even though it's probably bad for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Christine said breakfast burritos. Yes, we had breakfast burritos when we were at the Gillums as well. So I know they like breakfast burritos too, but
Those are awesome.
they are. And they're really easy to grab and go. Really easy.
Yeah, and meal prep is great for convenience, like you were saying. Just because like it's our dad used to, I think it was. Oh, I have the book here. But we did a meal prep thing for Dad a few years ago because he was trying a more restricted diet.
Oh.
And like she cooked once a week and was able to keep all of those in Tupperwares.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool.
Yeah.
And as far as convenience goes, that's really, really helpful.
Right, because he would get home from work and he could just grab his Tupperware out of the fridge and
Yeah. Just heat it up and there you go. Yes. Megan made she made 16 containers, like meal prep containers the other night. And it didn't take her that long either. I made her a pot of rice. And she's trying to think of, leaving early for the gym and then working an 8-hour day. So you're talking a lot of time away and a lot of time where you could possibly run through a drive-through or grab some chips out of a vending machine.
Right.
So we hard-boiled some eggs. And 4 of those meal prep containers contained breakfasts, if that was breakfast items. So she had hard-boiled eggs, she had some little pancakes and some sausage in there. And then the other 12 of them were all lunch/dinners. So we got her pretty much set up, like you said, for a week. And it really, the cost of it was so low. If you do it that way, not only are you saving money, but you're also doing yourself a favor as far as keeping you healthy, eating healthy, yes, and not just eating junk.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, that's a really great thing that you've got going there.
It ramps up in the
you-
summertime.
Well, I'm gonna say, and mind you, she's doing all this off grid.
Off
So
grid,
she,
yes.
She doesn't have the luxury of, just going and plugging in this and that anytime she wants, And like she said, she's either hot, sweaty, or whatever, and then no air conditioning.
Yeah.
It gets pretty rough being an off gridder, especially doing, your chores.
You have to
So-
juggle what you want to do. Like you can't charge everything at once.
Right.
You have to make sure and plan ahead for night times when it's kind of hot in the evenings. And we have these little shop fans, and they have batteries in them, Milwaukee batteries. So we make sure every day to make sure those are nice and charged. That way at night we can use those as a fan. I mean, it's just things like that. You've got to really plan on sunny days. You really want to make sure that you do most, if not all of your cooking. If you're going to do any that day, you want to make sure you do it first thing in the morning. And then that way you're in the cooler part. When it gets hotter, you're not doing that. But at the same time, you have to kind of juggle, because doing the plants, doing the watering and stuff like that. Oh, God bless you.
Sorry.
You're fine. You want to make sure that you do that early in the morning. So that way you don't scorch the plants and water them in the middle of the day. So you really, God bless you. You really have to plan ahead. And we are totally, a lot of times, at the mercy of the weather. But I say that, but we have a generator too. So we use that when we need to. But you really do. So the weather plays a part in so much of our lives. So much of our lives.
Well, but I said that also to mean that, listen, if you're doing Survival Seeds 2024, and we're on grid, I can only imagine what, how much work it is for you, especially having to plan your activities.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. If Ginger can do it off grid, anybody can do it on grid.
Yes. Amen.
Or you should be able to. So,
You're doing it in hard mode. So how long have you guys been off grid, and was that a difficult transition to make?
There were some growing pains. Yes. There were some tears. Those mostly came from me, not from Joey. But yeah, it took a lot of adjustment. I mean, I used to have the most pristine, beautiful fingernails, and now this is what they look like.
now they're just pristine.
No. Now they're just barely clean. I cleaned them for this live. Okay, no, I'm kidding. My life has actually changed dramatically. I say dramatically, but I wanted it. You gotta want that. And if you don't, then it's gonna be
Harder.
yeah,
More
it's going to be much harder. Yeah. If you're not both in, all in for it, which both of us are. We've been off grid. We've been here almost 7 years now.
Whoa.
Yeah, and we've slowly built up solar panels and batteries and things like that. As you grow, so should your, setup.
Well, but you learned different ways or different methods of conservation, how to conserve this
Yes.
and that, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I used to, want to run the TV sometimes, and I'm like, this is going to be a challenge. How am I going to do this? So, I mean, but again, you figure it out. TV has gone by the wayside completely ever since, we really got into YouTube. It completely has gone out the door. But I just remember, probably less than 10 years ago, sitting there ironing my clothes at night to get up and go to work tomorrow. I'd pick out my jewelry, my fingernails were painted, my toenails were painted. What shoes am I going to wear? Because I had an office job. And, making sure I usually packed a lunch back then. So I was a prepper, so to speak, even then. But yeah, and none of that. The clothes don't matter. The jewelry doesn't matter. The little matching sets and all that is pretty much gone out the window now.
It's very different.
It is very different.
So
Ginger, back, staying with the off-grid deal. So as it relates to harvest or seeds, come harvest time, being off-grid, do you have to plan what you harvest first? Because obviously when you harvest, you got to do something with it, either can it, dehydrate it, whatever. So is it more difficult being off-grid as doing the planning for your garden?
No, because it's kind of like everybody else. When your garden tells you it's done or it's ready to go, you better get it then. So we just have to, like, I have a tomato processor, and it's just a hand crank where you put the tomato in the top. It's a Cuisinart, it's a tomato crusher or whatever, and that's how I process the tomatoes. And then I'll put them all from there once I've squeezed all the juice and everything. I put it all in like a quart-sized jar, and I'll put it in the refrigerator, and then I'll wait until the next day and get up and process it early in the morning. So again, I do most of that kind of stuff in the morning. A while back I had heard the old saying, prep a day, can a day. So you prep one day, you wash your jars, wash the bands, wash the lids, sterilize them, get those put in something that nothing will get on them. Make sure your canner's already washed. Get out all your tools, make sure they're all clean. See what you're going to use. And I get all that stuff up and put to the side. And then the next day I'll get up and then I can just start canning. So
That's cool. Wow.
And I can imagine, not being on grid, that the biggest challenge is knowing, okay, well, what can I, because you got a freezer, you got to put stuff in the freezer, you got to put stuff in the refrigerator. Do you have enough room for that? And I'm not sure if you run those on cycles or what. But
yeah,
sure
that's a juggling act too. I mean, we've had to get a bigger refrigerator and an additional freezer. And then when you do that, you need additional batteries to run it, additional solar panels to run, to bring in the power. You need an inverter for so many batteries. So you really have to juggle those things. So freezer cleanouts for me are definitely something that I try to cycle through quite often, to leave room in the freezer for those times where, I just say I have to pick a bunch of tomatoes because I have no choice. If I don't, they're about to go bad. So I got to clean all that stuff out of the freezer to make room for something that I need to harvest that I need to harvest, but maybe I can't process it right that minute. So it's definitely, if you're not a planner, if you're kind of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of person, I'm not sure if it'd work out so well.
That just sounds a little complicated to get a hang of.
Yeah, it does, but you get used to it. You know, once you get those things in the back of your mind, you get used to what you can do and what you know you can't do, and when's the best time to do it.
Right.
Nice. I actually also wanted to ask about your kitchen. I feel like I remember Mr. Jesse saying that was a separate thing from your house. Like, how does that work?
It is. We actually are. When we first moved up here, we brought a camper. And that's actually, if you can picture this, the camper is the center of our house. So on this side, oh, I love your hat, Trey.
Brookie just kind of came in here and attacked me with this. So I got a hat now. We match.
So the middle part is a camper. And then on this side is the kitchen. And then on this side is the living room. So you actually have to go out of the kitchen to go into the living room, and the camper are connected, but the kitchen is not connected. Whereas you can just walk through, you just have to go out and walk on a little deck and then go in the other door. So it's pretty easy, but this was originally going to be a porch, a very large porch. And we just decided to not completely close it in, but for the most part, close it all in and make it kind of like an outdoor kitchen.
Oh,
Our mom wants one of those.
Yeah, it's a beautiful outdoor kitchen.
yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any benefits to having it the way you have it?
The
outdoor kitchen.
Yes, there are a lot of benefits. That I feel like it stays well ventilated. So when I am canning or something like that, but the drawback to that is if it's windy and you have the windows open, it's throwing the flame all over the place. So you got to be careful with that. That's another thing you got to watch out for. But I just love it in general. It is like kind of the kitchen that Joey and I both envisioned in our heads. And he would probably say more me than him because he doesn't cook in here a whole lot. But it's, you know how whenever you have company or family comes, you always all end up in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, anyways, you got attacked with a hat too.
So Ginger, if I
Yes.
may ask Ginger, because I know they probably won't ask, but if somebody was going to build an outdoor kitchen, let's say somebody in Michigan was to build an outdoor kitchen, what would you tell them the one thing or maybe a couple things that they need to make sure that they have in this outdoor kitchen? You know, outside the normal utensils, I mean, appliances, we know that, but what would you do anything different with yours if you had to rebuild it all over again, saying, man, I should have had bigger windows, or maybe I should have had a wider floor space, or what? I mean, if somebody was going to build one.
Yeah, the one thing I would tell you is make sure that you have overhang outside of your kitchen. That is going to be because, well, I mean, I don't know about Michigan because I've never lived there, but here we absolutely get sideways rain or even, a 45-degree angle rain.
Yes.
You're going to end up soaking wet. And if you don't have that overhang to help protect you, so that is a very big deal. Yes, the pot filler. That's one of those things.
You have one. His name is Joe. Joe.
That is one of those things that is definitely one that I still want in the kitchen. And Joey he bought me one last year, and we just haven't had the opportunity to add it in yet. But are you familiar with a pot filler?
Mm-hmm.
I only vaguely know what that is.
You are? Yeah. It's just like where you have your stove, it's just like a valve that comes out, and you can put, it's kind of high up, and you can actually, those larger, heavier pots, you can put it right there and turn the valve on, and it'll fill so it's water coming in.
Oh, nice.
A whole different place from the sink or anything like that.
Well, that's
and
genius.
you can just scoot it over to the burner instead of having to carry those big heavy pots. So
Nice. That's
it's a
genius.
wish list item, and we have the pot filler itself. We just have to get that put together. So, and
Nice.
the winter months put a hold on a lot of things. You know, you're dealing with a whole lot different things that you have to deal with in the summer. You know, the summer, it's the heat. In the winter, it's the freezing and how can I stay cold? I mean, how can I stay warm? And we want to close everything up, and we're trying to make sure that we don't have too many pipes exposed. So we have to adjust all of those things, the things that we do in the wintertime.
So moral of the story, folks, if you're planning on making an outdoor kitchen and you want some tips and tricks, talk to Ginger and Joey. They probably can tell you some really good tips and tricks on how to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I was just saying, in case somebody from Michigan was thinking about doing it.
That would be the first
Texas,
thing. The overhang
be-
thing was a big deal when we first put this in. We didn't have an overhang, and one bit of rain came, and I was like, whoa, it's coming in. It's coming in.
First
Yeah,
thing
I've
I
seen some,
figured out is windbreakers.
Yes.
Mine was more out in the open. It was just,
Oh, was it? Okay.
I just had 4 poles and a roof
I've
and
seen
a stove.
Yeah.
some modern barn dominiums, like out in the country in Texas, where they build their outdoor kitchen, but they use garage doors. So they used to open all these garage doors, and you have the complete outdoor kitchen open, and
Oh,
to the
nice.
elements. And if it gets too windy, you can shut this side down or this side down. But you have
Oh, that makes sense.
everything open or everything closed.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is a great idea. You know, if you just look out there, you can find so many great ideas. I would have never thought to do that.
That's super cool.
That's genius.
That is genius. Aw, thank you, Christine.
And trying to get back to the survival seeds, I know you brought up lard or pig fat as far as the fat content goes. Did you have any ideas as far as protein? I know that's something we were also kind of struggling with on the list.
Well, the pork
rabbits eating your
itself.
beans.
Huh?
I said the rabbits that were eating your beans.
Yeah. Yes, they could be dinner. They just don't know how close they come. So we all
Well, if they eat your beans,
we have the pig that we raised, that we butchered that or sent it to freezer camp. Sorry. So that's one protein. We do hunt. Both of us do.
Nice.
And so we love venison. And then we actually both like to fish. So those are our, and you can go to the local lake here and fish, and we bought a pass. It's good for the year, so we can go and just go fishing whenever we want. So yeah.
Great.
Those are our list of proteins. And then sometimes we'll go to the grocery store and we'll supplement beef or things like that. We don't have cows here. Joey wants to get a cow, but you can't get just one. You got to get 2, and we need infrastructure for a cow first. And we do like rice a lot. We both love rice, and if you put a rice and a bean together, it does make a protein. We like rice and beans, believe it or not.
Yeah, I
think they're good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm trying to look if I have any more questions.
So you said you guys are like thinking about getting cows. Have you considered getting like slightly smaller animals? Like, I mean, I'd say easier to contain. But that does not mean goats, because goats are harder to contain
That's
than
hard.
cows.
That's
Goats-
what I've heard. I've heard they're
Saying if it can't hold water, it can't hold a goat.
Yes. No, you know what? My next investment without a huge infrastructure is going to be, and maybe actually I heard you guys talking about it, and it kind of spurred the thought because I want to try them, and that's ducks.
Oh my gosh, ducks are so well behaved. So not only Okay, go ahead.
What kind of ducks do you have?
Oh, I have a lot of ducks. So it depends on
It depends
where
on your
you.
climate.
It depends on where you live. We tried getting different breeds from like different breeders, and it works. It works out pretty well. But like depending on where you live, you can lose a lot of them to the elements. We started with Indian runner ducks because we have a vineyard, and the way they stand almost kind of looks like a wine bottle. So they're really unique ducks,
and they can also reach bugs on the vines, which was their original purpose.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And they could they also and they are very good ducks, but they struggle in cold winters.
Oh. When you say cold, how cold does it get there?
So we've had years where it gets to like -15, but on the average, I think probably teens.
Yeah,
we hit the teens a
20s.
lot.
Yeah,
We
and so they struggle.
Teens. I think. Well, we got that polar vortex winter we had 2 years ago. The anomaly. We had like -18 degrees, but we've never ever had that before. Now we have gotten down low, and but this past winter we didn't even really get a big snow to talk about. I mean, we had flurries a couple times, and that was it. The year before we had a couple of snows, so they're probably not the Indian runners then.
Yeah. Now Muscovies is I think the next ducks we got.
Don't get those.
They're more closely related to geese, but they're small. Now, Muscovies are hard to contain because they can fly very well. In fact, they're naturally, even though they do really, really well in the winters, when they're old enough, they're originally from Florida. And they actually, in their native climate, they nest in trees. So they fly very, very well, and they're hard to contain. However, they are very quiet. So if you don't want to deal with the quack, quack, quack,
like if you want them to stay, you would have to clip their wings.
And routinely too, because their feathers grow pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Trey, you broke up. How was that again? How did the ducks go?
The magpies are pretty good.
Currently, we have some runner ducks. Still, we have a lot of Muscovies, but they don't breed with the other ducks. They stay with the Muscovies. And then we also have magpies, which they're shaped like a normal duck, but they have they kind of look like they're black and white. So like depending on how their patterns look, some of them look like penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penguin ducks, yeah.
And then there's harlequins, and they have very unique patterns. They've got a lot of beige, a lot of gray, a lot of black, and there's like different designs all over them. They're really pretty.
Well, now which one is the easiest one that you? Yeah, I'm assuming you get eggs from your ducks.
We do. Now, ducks don't typically. So if you want to. Runner ducks specifically were bred to. I think they were originally bred for rice fields. And so they'll go all over the place eating bugs, but they kind of just drop their eggs and run. So it's like every day, but they'll drop a lot of them, but you got to find them. Every day is an Easter egg hunt.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, and that's especially hard when you've got them going out in the vineyard every day, and the vineyard is big.
Yeah.
And
Muscovies nest. So you can find their nests in their houses. They're just like chickens. They'll go into a nesting box to lay their eggs.
Oh, nice. But they're
they're very, very good mothers.
They're territorial.
And they have very sharp claws and very strong wings. I have a lot of cuts from Muscovies.
I'll be careful. I don't need cuts. I got that old people skin. It's really thin, and I don't need cuts.
The harlequins are. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as her duck breeds, the Indian runner duck and the harlequin are actually recognized to be prolific egg layers.
They lay a lot.
So if we're looking for consistent, they'll probably be the better breeds out of the ones she has.
Yeah, as far as like,
but we got like magpies because they were good in winter, and then they're kind of just breeding.
The magpies actually tend to keep their eggs in houses, not always in nests, but the magpies are really good at keeping them in houses. And what I've discovered as we continue growing birds is buying birds from a breeder.
Mhm.
That like you mail them to your post office,
Yes.
which is actually a thing.
Yeah.
That they tend to have a little bit more trouble with the weather because you don't know where those birds are from.
Yeah.
We bought our first runner ducks, not our first runner ducks, our second runner ducks. We bought them from a local farm who was trying to get rid of some of hers, and they were 100% runner ducks, and we could tell. But Hershey, she was
she was immortal.
She was immortal, like actually. Well, not really. We lost her, I think, last year. But
She was like 7 or 8.
Yeah, it was like 7 or 8, and ducks don't typically last that long. But she lived through the
Two
polar
vortexes.
vortexes. She was the only animal on the entire farm that can go by our dog without getting bitten. She was just like, she was amazing. She had, we actually,
Indian
what?
runner?
She was mostly Indian runner duck, but she was bred through in our area.
Okay.
This was someone who had been breeding ducks for years, and the genetics had just built up to the point where this duck was very strong in the winter.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get ducks, then either look local, and then find ducks that you like different aspects about. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm letting all of my ducks be together. I'm having a little issues keeping them in right now because I've got a hole somewhere. And the muscovines are bad influences on them. They're getting into the vineyard where we don't want them because we've got baby plants in there right now.
Uh-oh.
But if you just let them, you pick different traits. Like, I like this duck because it lays a lot of eggs and it keeps track of them. And I like this duck because it does well in winter and is very pretty. And then you just let them breed together, and naturally, nature is going to run its course where the ducks that can't do the weather aren't going to do the weather. And then as time goes on, you're just going to build up a stronger breed for your area.
Yeah. I should have got ducks on Chick Day because the local feed store on Chick Day, they had ducks too. They had ducks and turkeys, but we didn't get any. We just got some more chickens.
Turkeys are even easier to keep.
And I really want some ducks. I mean, and I will say
which one is the Daffy Duck? That's the one I want.
The
one that talks.
I don't know which one Daffy is.
I don't know what Daffy is.
But I heard you guys talking. I don't think it was last week. I think it was the week before that the ducks don't bother the larger plants because their bills are more rounded and their feet are more webbed, whereas chickens will dig anything up and they will peck at everything. And I was like, well, that's genius. I never thought of that. I need some ducks now because I want duck eggs.
You want ducks into your garden to like clear out any bugs, as long as all of your plants are old enough that they couldn't just eat it. Because they do need to eat greens, and if it's a baby plant, they'll eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
if it's eggs you want, you can get you an emu or an ostrich.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. We had emus right beside us a couple years ago, and they are aggressive and they are very loud.
And you actually reminded me of something with the Daffy Duck. We have a Donald Duck. We ordered two white runner ducks, and Tractor Supply and all of its prime gave us 2 pecans. And I was never very interested in raising pecans, and the female ended up being a little bit of a problematic. She had a bit of an attitude, so she had to go to camp. But the male, he is my sweetest duck. He's very friendly.
He's big.
He'll eat out of my hand. And the best part is pecans are extremely fluffy. He doesn't even struggle in the winter. Like not even a little bit. Nice. And if you pick him up and you put your hands under his feathers, it's just so soft. It's like holding a giant cotton ball.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Like down feathers, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to write this down. Let me get my notepad.
And ducks, if you raise a duck, even if they're not like friendly, that they'll like come over and follow you around, they usually will if you feed them, or if you're the person who feeds them. I've had ducks.
I've clap pin them.
they're trainable. You can train ducks. I have had my first ducks I trained to claps. And so we'd let them out into the vineyard. We could barely see them because they were so far. And then I would clap. I'd do some special claps and they'd all come running for food. And then the most recent ones I trained to whistle. So
What's the
not that the ducks didn't whistle. I'd whistle. I trained them to whistle.
So what's the life expectancy of let's say an average duck, pekin, mallard, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so
10 years, 12 years?
Like 5.
They can live for like 5 years, 5 to 10.
Wow.
Yeah. They're good layers for like 3 to 4 years typically. They can go further than that, but then the eggs will start getting smaller and stuff like that. But it's good to like routinely go through processes with your ducks and your chickens too. It's like every 2-3 years, we'll take some chickens to camp, and then we'll hatch new ones from those chickens. So we're keeping the genes, but we got to replace them. Otherwise, they're going to just stop laying eggs because they're too old.
Yeah.
Oh.
Christine had a good question. She said, how do the Peking ducks handle high heat and high humidity?
Pretty much.
High heat and humidity.
Yeah.
They do well.
Something ducks like is water. So, like, if you're gonna get duck, definitely get one of those kiddie pools at the dollar store.
They love so cute.
And that's how they keep warm too. It keeps them clean and cool, not warm.
Yeah. And it's incredibly important. If you have ducks, this is really important. Don't forget this. If you have ducks, they cannot eat without water. Always do their water before their feed, because ducks, due to the way their bills are made, their bills are, when they eat, they tend very commonly to get it stuck in their nose. Feed and mud stuck in their nostrils. So they constantly have to have not just a dish of water, but a deep thing of water. So we'll get a kiddie pool, we'll get a little a concrete mixer, and we'll fill it to the brim with water, and they'll bathe themselves in it. We actually have a little pond. We dug a big hole and filled it with the water. And the ducks love it. It smells the worst, but they love it. And then there was something else I was going to say. If you grow ducks, they'll naturally be acclimated to be around you. They'll follow you around, especially if you're holding a pail, because they'll be used to, like, following you for food.
Yes.
But if you raise them from chicks and you spend a lot of time with them, I've had, I think, 3 ducks that will let me pick them up. And ducks are really cute in the way that if you're holding them, they can give hugs.
Aww.
Hershey was specifically known for her hugs. The immortal duck.
Yeah.
I would pick her up.
We need to change.
I would pick her up and she'd spread her wings, and I'd be able to put my hands around her. And it's just so soft. Like, if you get ducks, you'll tell why I love ducks so much. They're amazing. And you can communicate with them. You can understand them. Like, if they wag their tail and go ahead.
So for those that are just coming in right now, welcome to Duck Dynasty 2024.
It is 7-11, so I'm not saying you have to shut down now, but Garden State Gardener has a premiere going. It's a movie night, Common Ground. So if you're interested, we highly recommend you go watch that. I think he's going to be having the star of that movie is an interview soon.
Yeah,
what were you saying?
We should probably close up soon. But I'll just drop that up really quick. You can learn how to understand what they're trying to tell you. Like, if they're flapping their wings, then like they're trying to tell you that they want something. Or if they're wagging their tails, flapping their wings, and quacking, then they're happy to see you. Personalities and characteristics that you can learn to communicate to them. And like, there are actually times when you can mimic some of their movements to communicate back.
Oh, that's cool. Now, see, I wish I would have gotten them then, because the only place at this point I think that would have ducklings would be Tractor Supply. And I'm sure they don't get them from somebody locally. They probably have them shipped in.
They're shipped.
Yeah, most likely. You can probably check like Craigslist or something, Facebook Market.
No, they don't have mine.
No. Oh, I thought they did.
I don't think they do that.
Okay, probably Craigslist. But yeah, there's a lot of really great things you can learn just from having birds.
Well, we do have one of the main roads coming in. I see a sign where it says fresh duck eggs. So I think one of these days I'm just going to stop there, mosey on in and say, hey, do you have any ducklings you want to get rid of or ducks? They'll probably give me the worst of the worst. But still,
It's always good.
I agree. It's good to start with someone local.
Yeah, because then you know the genetics have been built up.
Yeah.
And they're strong for your area. It's a good place to start.
Yeah. I will do that next time.
You have dogs, right?
We do.
Yeah. Those will help with your birds because the ducks can't defend themselves very well. Most ducks can't defend themselves.
We got to be careful with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Probably should have said that sooner.
Yeah, you have to have a good enclosure for them.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of like the chickens.
Yeah.
Just at night.
Just like
you
chickens.
can let them do their own thing once they know where they live and where they come back to.
Most of the day predators, or the ducks will be okay with. It's just at night you got to make sure they're safe and secure. And they'll learn after like a week or two. They'll know that when she feeds us, it's bedtime.
Yeah. Okay.
And especially in summer, you can do it so that they only have to eat at night because they'll forage.
Oh.
If you're letting them out someplace, then they go out, they get their bugs, feed them at night, and put them in. They're so easy to handle. They smell sometimes, but most of the time
do you have to worry about hawks and overhead prey with them like you do with chickens?
We've had a few issues.
We've had a couple issues with overhead birds coming down for the ducks, but usually it's just when there's babies.
Okay.
If one of the mamas has hatched a bunch of babies, then you definitely got to watch it.
Okay.
We only had a few birds that were not snatched up.
Okay.
With ducks, I say she's to go get 4 or 5 ducks. Is there a pecking order with ducks as well, like there are with chickens?
There is, and you got to watch your ratios with ducks too. You can't have too many boys, or the females can start bleeding on the backs of their heads from mating.
Oh wow!
Got to watch your boy numbers, because when they try to mate, the boys will grab onto the backs of their heads to balance or something, and that can pull out their feathers.
Yeah, kind of like chickens.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like a 1 to 3.
Our roosters
ratio.
are nicer than our male ducks.
Yeah, our roosters the roosters will fight each other, but they don't hurt the females as much.
Yeah.
As the boy ducks. The drakes can like not intentionally, but they can really beat up some other girls.
Yeah.
You gotta watch your numbers. You gotta get like the ratio. I think is supposed to be 1 boy to 3 girls.
Okay.
You can even stretch that like 1 to 4,
1 to 4, 1 to 5. That's still good. You don't want to have too many males. And something I've had an issue with is if you hatch your own eggs, you're going to get a lot of boys.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And those, you can't have that. You got to watch numbers.
The last batch of chickens.
Take boys and separate them. Put them, and then they'll be sad. They'll spend most of the time pacing the fence, looking at the girls and being sad. But
yeah, they'll have to get over it. Yeah. Now, so they're like chickens, whereas most of the ducks, they don't. Do they? Well, some chickens are egg layers and don't need a rooster. Is that the same for ducks?
Yep. Ducks will lay eggs. They'll even lay eggs in the winter if they have not got enough protein getting in them. They'll lay no matter what. They'll only go broody if there's a male.
Okay.
I've seen when I didn't have a male that I didn't see any of them.
I don't remember you having very many winter eggs.
No, we didn't. We don't have that often.
Oh,
but when you give,
if you have a heat lamp and they're warm, they'll do it. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Otherwise, they'll take all of their energy and save it up inside of them to keep them warm.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've got a heat lamp keeping them warm, then they can lay eggs in the winter.
Okay. All right.
Now, did you put any lipstick on any of your ducks?
Oh, do it.
No, Bunky put lipstick on my emu.
That was so funny. She was painting the
illegally.
chicken. she was trying to help paint the chicken coop a few years ago, and
We're painting it red.
we were painting it red, and Emu decided to dip his face in the paint.
Oh gosh.
We actually painted your goat.
Yeah,
Oh,
had a red tail for the rest of the summer.
That's funny. Oh goodness. Well,
Yeah.
wow, this has been completely educational.
Thank you for
Yeah.
coming.
I feel so much duck smarter now.
We learned a lot about your homestead and how you do things. Like, this was super
How you
cool.
run things, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you
And
so
that-
much for having me on.
And we learned that Trey doesn't like ducks.
Not at all.
Not at all. And she doesn't know anything about them.
No.
No.
Mistakes were made, but we learn.
Yeah. Oh, same here. Sometimes it's the school of hard knocks, and sometimes it's by listening to those who have learned the school of hard knocks. So I choose to
Right.
listen to those and try to make few mistakes myself that are stupid mistakes. And occasionally
Here's one last tip. Don't put food in the heated water bowl, and don't put the water in the food bowl in the winter.
Okay.
Water
They had
freezes.
warm food and ice.
And yeah. Warm food
It
and
was
ice.
like, in my defense, I was like,
I thought you were going to say half asleep, which I've fed half
That's-
asleep too. You know, here's your food. Hopefully, it's the right food for the right animal.
She comes in one of these days and she's like, "Yeah, the ducks are fine, but
There's
all
one
of them are dead."
there's one left. That was Hershey. She survived that.
Wow.
She's amazing. Hey.
Hmm.
We're probably going to wrap up and try to head over to Garden State. It looks like a cool movie. But thank you guys all for being here. We really appreciate you guys. And Mr. Jesse and Mr. Bushcraft, thank you for
Miss
covering.
Lisa.
And Miss Lisa, thank you for covering. Sorry about the tech issues.
And Miss Ginger, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for
thank
being
you
on.
so much. This has been so much fun. I've enjoyed it a bunch and learned so much. So
This is super fun.
thank you.
Yeah, smash the like button, folks.
Yes. Don't forget the thumbs up before you head on out the door.
Yeah. And don't forget to keep an eye out for Miss Ginger's lives that she has. She's got a lot of great lives, and so does
Thank
Mr.
you.
Jesse and Mr. Bushcraft. And Miss Lisa. They've got some great lives that you guys should definitely try to make it to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys.
Mr. Jesse, you're gonna have to close it.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Have a great night,
See you,
everybody.
See y'all later.
Thanks again.